Welcome to this short video in relation to a policy brief on the strategies of ISIS in using the cyber domain and social media in particular to propagate their ideology and have an outsized impact on the West as compared to if the same group was operating during a time without the cyber domain. ISIS has been media savvy from the very beginning, when its founder, al-Zawahiri, realized the potential impact and the power to influence through uploading grainy videos of his atrocities to the internet. And as the group has evolved, the media strategy of ISIS has increased in sophistication and also increased in its ability, therefore, to influence its followers, to attract followers, and to recruit people on a global basis, and in fact mobilize them to step away from their lives and travel thousands of miles, often to dangerous lands, in the hope of the paradise of the caliphate. One of the key aspects of success of the ISIS cyber strategy has been the decentralization of their media operations, whereby they have autonomous groups producing content on a continuous basis in geographies as disparate as West Africa to the Caucasus. This means that it is increasingly difficult for Western lawmakers and regulators and enforcers to find a way to shut down all of this propaganda and information dissemination. So it's a very smart move by ISIS to decentralize their media arm in order to be able to maximize their reach and their influence and their longevity. Social media and the cyber domain has provided ISIS with easy access to the hearts and minds of potential followers in a way that has never really been possible before. Even in the early 2000s, Al-Qaeda never used the cyber domain to the same level of impact, positive impact for their group, as we see ISIS doing. This is in part because Al-Qaeda tended to operate in a more closed environment with independent cells which were tied to the core ideology of Al-Qaeda. ISIS tends to operate more opportunistically, almost a crowd platform for both its media, its messaging, and its violence. So in some ways we could say that ISIS has co-opted the internet, which was constructed by Western architects, for its own gain. And so far it has continued to do so successfully. It has developed this image of being ruthlessly savage, and all terrorist groups to some extent seek to have that kind of image because they want to have an impact on societies. They want to be able to terrorize societies disproportionately to the actual terror that they inflict. They're able to control or influence the minds of people in the West by disseminating these images of terror. Although ISIS is notorious for atrocities, including beheadings of Westerners, the actual level of content that it disseminates of that kind is quite small. Much of their content focuses on economic development, public works projects, and military triumphs. And it maximizes the ability of ISIS, therefore, to influence its audience with minimum cost and time. The brand of ISIS has become quite powerful through its sophisticated use of social media. And like any large brand, it has a strong media arm. Research shows that ISIS on average releases 38 new content items per day. Now this puts them on a par with Western brands such as PepsiCo, Nike and BuzzFeed in their attempt to reach out and connect with potential customers. For potential ISIS recruits, social media has lowered the barrier of connecting with the ideology. Connecting with intermediaries and like-minded people through the cyber domain is not difficult for potential recruits. And ISIS is now an ideological platform onto which people can sow their own personal grievances and persecution. The speed of dissemination and information by a group like ISIS in real time, as people even in the developing world have access to phones and the internet and other mobile devices, means that the ability of groups like ISIS to mobilize its followers is enormous. And we've seen that recently with how ISIS has been able to step into what really was a local grievance, a local problem in northern Mozambique, driven by a marginalized, neglected region being frustrated with its government. But now we have a potential serious issue with an ISIS-affiliated group in northern Mozambique that has tangentially become associated with Tanzania in the north and Al-Shabaab further up in Kenya and Somalia. But none of that would have been possible to the same extent without the sophisticated reach of ISIS, which is largely driven through social media and the cyber domain.